You are learning how to master money, not be a slave to it. And in the beginning, any small victory is what you feel like you need to keep pressing forward. And some of you, unfortunately, want to do that prematurely with trades. I just need that little affirmation, that little nudge. This is going to work for me. I know he said don't push a button. I know he said don't trade, but I have to. Michael, if you could just feel what it feels like to be inside this skin of mine. I got to wake up every day and do this dumb shit and make no money. I'm in a country that doesn't make any fucking money, and I'm in an impoverished nation. I didn't have a father. I didn't have a mother. I can't get a job with my college degree. I dropped out of college. I couldn't afford it. My mom and dad don't do this for me. Look, listen. All that stuff may be true. I had everything stacked against me. Everything. I had no pedigree that had money before me. I had no advantages where people could help me get into certain things, fall into certain, perfect scenarios for jobs. I didn't have any of those advantages. I didn't have this, where somebody's whipping my ass into shape when I'm doing stupid shit. Get me back on the rails. Keep me focused. Let me tell you something. My feelings would not have been fucking hurt because this is exactly how my grandfather talked to me. And I miss it. I wish I could hear that Navy man whip my ass and get your head in the fucking game. Focus on this. What are you looking at that shit for? This is what you're supposed to be focusing on right now. Yes, sir. I didn't have that when he passed away. He didn't see me do this. You have someone in me that proves that we can do this consistently. I'm teaching you how to do it. I'm giving you a mindset, a way of thinking about it, how to conquer your demons, wrestle with them, pin them, beat their fucking ass. But you have to show up and do everything I tell you to do. And everything I tell you not to do, you need to keep it away.
Alrighty, boys and girls, good morning. Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome in. Go ahead and give the stream a like on your way in if you'd be ever so kind. If you're blessed enough to wake up today, boys and girls, give that stream a like for old Daddy T. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Allie. Good morning, Rita. Good morning, Hossein. Good morning, Sashin. Good morning, Pair 05. Let's make some fucking money, boys and girls. What do you say? Come on now. Come on. Good morning, guys. All right. Well, boys, diving in here today. A couple things to keep in mind. Last day of the World Economic Forum meetings. We have unemployment claims come out, or already has come out pre-market. And then we got Trump speaking at 11. Trump speaking at 11 a.m., boys and girls, to conclude the World Economic Forum. So we'll be mindful of that. I'm hopeful that we can find a setup here, early on in the AM session. As we kind of get closer to Trump speaking, it's more of a likelihood that we'll just, sit on our hands. But looking at like the overnight trading, even like waking up and checking my phone, my plan this morning was if I woke up and we had like a large range overnight, I was considering taking the day off. But we really didn't move at all, to be honest with you. Little bit of movement down in London, but we've been pretty sideways. Market is just now opening up. We are very close to previous Asia London lows. We have this previous new day opening gap. This new day opening gap that I have marked out on my chart is not from last night into today. So this is yesterday's new day opening gap. I didn't mark out today just because I didn't think it was prevalent, really. Not very many points. But I like the idea of us manipulating lower here in the short term. We do still have, if I jump back out here, we still have this high intact on NASDAQ. Let me check ES quick. I think ES took it out. Yeah. So ES did take out this high. So there is an SMT divergence between NQ and ES here at the highs. On the 4 hour, we see an inversion here as well. Yeah, I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. The violin's going wild on me. All right, 1 hour. Yeah, this is just sideways here in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going on 6 hours now. I'm going to drop down to 1 minute. Let's see how we expand here, boys. I'd like to see a movement to the downside here in the short term. But obviously can adapt. Like if price just starts shooting up, well, we might have to readjust some things. But I think shortest, or in the short term, I should say, I think the easiest trades to frame would be trading below Asia low here from yesterday. Asia and London low. Trade into old new day opening gap. Run out this sell side. And then look to reverse. We got ES trading above current London high. Yeah, NQ is just literally flat. NQ might be dead. So I'm gonna drop down to 1 minute. Let me pull the higher time frames up over here on my other monitor, boys. We'll keep an eye on it. Good morning, Meta. Good morning, Wolf. Good morning, PEJW. ES is in a 4 hour fair value gap. Yes. Yes, indeed. It's in a 4 hour fair value gap here. Trading up from it right now. Meanwhile, NQ has violated its 4 hour fair value gap in here. Generally what I've found is a lot of time, because there's more volume as well in ES, overall, a lot of times this structure can be more significant, meaning sometimes NQ will color outside the lines a little bit more, if you will. Opening range gap. $90 points. So kind of in that sweet spot range where it's up to some other confluences to confirm one direction or another. But let me do a little pulse check, shall we? Let's see what you guys are feeling. Let me know, boys and girls. I'm gonna change the music here. I'm not really digging this. What do we want? What kind of royalty-free music do I want to select? Drum and bass? Lo-fi? Yeah, should probably get some lo-fi going, huh? Get a little lo-fi beats going, boys and girls. You know, it's tough finding good music for these streams. YouTube wants to copyright everything. What's going on with that? Look at gold futures? No, I'm good. No. Yeah, bro. Oh my gosh, like this is. I'm at, like I got the 1 minute chart pulled up here side by side on ESNNQ. And just like if I stare right in the center long enough, I get dizzy because it's so fucking choppy. Look at that. Stare right in the center of the screen and tell me that doesn't make you dizzy. Just give it a few seconds. Go home, market. You're drunk. Yeah, Trump's speaking at 11. Will that affect trading today? Very possibly. Yeah, very possibly. Which do I like better, Tradeovate or Topstep X? I'm assuming you mean for combines. Well, I would say Topstep X is more advantageous, and I'm not just saying that because, like, I like TradingView a lot. I'll tell you that. I like kind of just the looks. Like if you're trading a single account, I personally kind of like the aesthetics of TradingView more. But in terms of like pure account advantages, features, Topstep X has got way more features, way more functionality. Copy trading's a breeze. Obviously, you got a little bit more room because there's no max daily loss limit on Topstep X as opposed to Tradeovate. Granted, it's probably a good thing for some people, but you can set a personal loss limit on Topstep X manually. So it's really up to you, honestly. But yeah, Topstep X is probably the right answer there in terms of which one is better. But if you prefer the TradingView chart all around, then rock on, right? I'm liking this expansion up here in the 5 minute. Starting to open up here a little bit. I'm still watching like the 1 minute chart here on my other monitor here. We are trading down into a bullish 1 minute fair value gap at the moment. This might be first presentation actually. Yep. So we're trading down in a first presentation fair value gap here on the 1. If we're bullish, we could see this hold and continue pushing higher. But yeah, I still would like to see us possibly manipulate a little bit lower. I am, you know, don't get me wrong, I am more bullish overall. But like yesterday, you guys saw how tricky it is. Like yesterday in the morning, you know, and some people didn't even take that long. Like I took that long yesterday morning, and granted, you know, I waited until silver bullet hour. You know, even some people in the chat were like, I'm not taking that because there was no manipulation. It's always tough. It's always tough when we're just really one-sided and price is just moving one direction. And you know, you're waiting for that manipulation and we just don't get it. We just keep going one way, right? Market opens, the opening range gap is 150 points, and then we just keep trekking higher or lower. You know, those conditions are a little bit more difficult just because, you know, usually when you're as an ICT trader, like you've back tested your edge, and the setup that you usually look for is kind of based around getting that really clear manipulation, right? And then when there isn't a clear and obvious manipulation at a premium or discount point of interest, it's like, kind of just takes a lot of the conviction out of it, right? What's this music, dude? Sideways until Trump speaks at 11, and then he says some stupid shit about immigration, and we sell off. What do you mean stupid shit, Ben? Define stupid shit about immigration. I got into a one of my like old high school buddies. I don't know, he's a little strange. I wouldn't say he was like a close friend or anything like that, but yeah, he like just started sending me a bunch of shit yesterday about Trump. Like bad, like negative, you know, negative like tweets that people were posting. He didn't vote, by the way. He's one of those guys. He's not gonna vote in the election because he feels like it's worthless. But yeah, he was sitting there. He's like, basically just calling Trump like a puppet. He's like, he's just as much of a puppet as Biden or Kamala. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, explain that one to me. That's a first. And anyway, he just started kind of like the one thing he mentioned about immigration, he was like, I don't see the problem with them coming over as long as they don't break laws once they get here. I'm just like, dude. I was like, man.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
It kind of went something like that. And that was the end of that. But yeah, fair prediction. We could be sideways until Trump speaks. It is the first day with red folder news today. Obviously pre-market. That's why I woke up and I was like, I wonder if we're gonna have moved a lot. And we definitely had not. Da, 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 da. All right, so prices traded up into the first quadrant of opening range gap so far. We do have an SMT divergence, by the way, at these highs with ES and NQ. As you guys can see, ES pushing a higher high here, NQ pushing a lower high at the moment on the 1 minute chart. Doesn't mean I'm looking to get short or anything, just something to point out. Yeah, Tricky. How's everybody's trading been going so far? What is it? January 23rd. Like, I mean, you guys were here last week. You guys saw me get my literal ass paddled and handed to me on a silver platter last week. Essentially, I gave back all my profit from the previous week. And then I think I was down, after all said and done, I was down like $700 or something in total between the previous 2 weeks. I mean, I was definitely on a losing streak last week. This week, I don't know. There really hasn't been a whole lot going on. We didn't trade Monday. Tuesday was a loss and break even. Yesterday was a tiny little partial and break even. So like, it's been pretty lackluster overall. But yeah, how are you guys? How have you guys been doing in the previous, let's say, 3 weeks? Assuming you didn't do a whole lot of trading like the very first week of the new year. How's it been hanging for you folks? Has it been a struggle? I've been seeing some echoing sentiments of the same on even X and stuff, people saying that they were struggling. A lot of people struggling with conditions currently. I won't lie, I did kind of expect more of an immediate knee-jerk reaction from the market kind of right after inauguration. And the fact that we've been pretty sideways for a few days now is interesting, if I'm being honest. You're up because you traded Asia? Yeah, we had a crazy, what was that, a crazy dump in Asia on Monday night? Guys, why can't I use regular trading hours to see opening range gap? I'm not sure, Cruz. You should be able to see it if you're on the futures. You got to be on the futures chart. If you're on like a CFD NASDAQ chart, you're not going to be able, that's not a thing. You got to be on the futures chart. Yeah, Bitcoin's cruising. We're up over 2%, up at 106 right now. Bitcoin's cruising. Happy to see that. I think we're still waiting for the Bitcoin strategic reserve to be passed with an executive order. Slow but not awful. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too, Dawson. You know, like if I look at just last week by itself, obviously that's bad. If I mix in the week prior and then like just all in all, like all of January so far, it's just I'm pretty much at that like realistically I'm probably down on the month like $400. Which by itself can be frustrating, right? Because it's, it's 20 plus days so far in the month. We only got like, what, a week left of January, pretty much. So, like, it's frustrating because you just got to force yourself to stay patient and, like, it's easy to get impatient and then want to, like, really start pushing it, forcing things, and obviously that's when bad things happen. Nothing feels better than this. Nothing feels better. Looking like this SMT here at the highs could fail. Possibly. We're showing respect to this first presentation fair value gap. We are in the macro now. The SMT is present at this high here. So really what I guess what I'm waiting for, let me check here actually. 1530. Like I told you guys before, I wanted to see it go down. I wanted to see price go down and take the recent lows first, but yeah, we're smack dab in the middle of previous day range. Has anybody been pressing the button so far this morning already? If so, how's it been going? Passed and blue 3 evals. That kind of sounds about right. If you had a similar performance as I did the last couple of weeks. Good, bad. So far this week, eh. Weekly daily session revolving profile has been very good since start of the year. A couple of times had to move away from it and do some ICT style trades. Up 4,700 for the month with 4 red days. Well, that's not bad. That sounds pretty good, Mason. Volume profile, huh? I used to use volume profile in my supply and demand era. I didn't really factor in time all that much though when I used it. Meaning like I would just look at structure and I would draw volume profile from structure. So like I'd, to look at a range, right? And then I would basically take this fixed range volume profile tool, draw from the swing points, find your value area low. Oh, shit. Wrong chart. Swing high, swing low, value area low, value area high, point of control. See, I still have it saved as a favorite on my TradingView toolbar. See, I used to use this all the time. The point of control would almost always line up, and you can see it here. It's like this is why I say there is crossover. If for anyone that says there's not crossover between ICT concepts and like other stuff, supply and demand, whatever, volume profile even, like they're just incorrect. Like look at what do you see here in structure? Just look at this value area. What is this? What PD array is this? Who's got it? Who's got it? Wine says he's not even going to waste his time. We're finally starting to get this movement down. I'm liking that. I'd rather we manipulate lower before trying to piss around with getting long at all. OB. Yeah, OB breaker block. So this is how things generally work out. Is a lot of times people that use other strategies or people that use ICT concepts, it's like what a lot of people don't realize is like generally, it's a lot of it's going to line up. And that's just kind of the reality. A lot of the times it will overlap and line up. Not always, obviously, but there's plenty of times where, like I would use the volume profile with supply and demand in these ranges, and it would always, the point of control would like always line up with the beginning of an order block, breaker block, or a supply level, a demand level, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of people would rather just argue about what's better. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you can find the setups better using a volume profile, then use a volume profile. You know what I mean? If you can find the setups better marking out supply and demand levels, you know what I mean? Rock on. If you can find the setups better by kind of encompassing a lot of ICT logic, rock on. You know what I mean? But I think, I guess if you were to make an argument for like volume profile, in that realm of conversation, you might say that it could be simpler, like less analysis involved. I'm not gonna lie, with ICT concepts, there can be a lot of analysis involved, and I think, especially maybe as newer quote unquote ICT traders, it can be really easy to be looking at too much stuff, or thinking about looking at too much stuff, and it kind of just psychs you out. So if there's any advantages to sticking with like, oh, I just use volume profile and that's it, right? It's just really simple. And there's not a whole lot of overthinking involved. And I think with time, as ICT trader, you kind of just get more used to like focusing on the things that really stick out to you. And you kind of learn to factor everything else out, because it's just not helpful to think about everything all at once, because there is conflicting things, right? I mean, if you're trying to force yourself to view the market through the lens of like a market maker buy and sell model, well, a lot of times that's going to be pretty conflicting with like, an OTE retracement continuation. And those are kind of the two really main flagships that I feel like most ICT traders use. Either it's like a discounter premium continuation, aka OTE, or they're looking for market maker buy and sell models, right? So I definitely understand the discourse about people going back and forth, I guess, but at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff, when the markets are going strongly in a direction, a lot of times you're going to find that there's a ton of overlap between multiple strategies will indicate the same thing or same possibility. Factor in VWAP even if you want. Speaking of, what is VWAP at? Oh, boys, we had a little, where's open here? 9:30. No. I was going to say we had a VWAP open, but not really. Flipped this first presentation fair value gap on its head. Retraded back into it. That could have been a shorting opportunity. I wasn't really anticipating it. So I can't say I would have taken it for sure, but I was also blabbing. I was also yapping. Did anybody grab this? want to see. I might be able to snag something if we get it like a retracement into the 1 minute. It might not be too late for me to grab. What's our risk? Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, if we trade back up into this, oops, recent inefficiency here, I'm gonna try to get in this. Stop above recent high. I very well probably, good chance I might have missed this though. I was doing too much yapping. Wasn't focused on the task at hand. Yeah, fuck. I think it's gonna go. Come on, poke up there for me. Give me a good entry, please. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Nice. All right, guys. I'm going to put stop at this recent high. Order for me is looking like this. About a 20-point stop. A little less than that. 1.5 R. Going to the recent low. Let me set the position up here. See if this could continue. I'd like to see this flush through the low here. Or absolutely fuck me. Came back for me, boys. I thought I was left behind. I shouldn't have been yapping so much. As soon as we trade through this recent low, I'll trail my stop up. If we can get here. NQ is easily outpacing ES to the downside. Back at entry. uh. You're gonna hop up for it. Good luck. Get some dubs. F up some 14-year-olds. I like that wick. Now that it is a wick. Bro about to get fucked. Come on. Dependent wafer. Have some... Send some positive vibes for me. Come on. I think we can all agree, though, that if we go to stop loss and we just look left, it might be an early day for me. Because this is absolute... If we go here, this is fucked. We're going to have a terrible day. And then Ben's prediction about chop until Trump speaks is probably spot on. What's funny is even if we go to my TP and then trade back into the range, we're still choppy. I'm just trying to trade this range at the moment. SMT at the high. Bearish for value gaps. Relative equal lows that we could go target. So we'll see. It's kind of... You could argue that it's a little bit suicidal to be trying to short NQ at all-time highs as well, but... Where the fuck? There we go. We'll see. It's all good either way. We got a 20-point stop. We're going for like a 1 to 5 R. 1.5 R. So I'm just going to let it play out here. I'm cool with the risk. The only nice thing about trading these ranges is it's, you know, the stop losses aren't huge. Is Topstep good for scalping? Yeah. I think a lot of people scalp. This is kind of a scalp, to be honest. This isn't a big move. I mean, literally 26 points. Yeah. Outside of support and resistance traders. This is pretty effed. Like if you're not a support and resistance trader, there's no way you make money consistently in this, right? Macro's over. Yeah, this is fucked. All right, boys, stop incoming. possibly. Most likely. How many VIC counts have I blown this January? 0.
Order filled.
How about you? So I guess I've done on that. This is pretty disgusting. I might go play Fortnite myself. Nice reaction initially. We traded down. I was waiting for this low to be traded through before I went break even. Look how close we got, and then that was it. Oh my god, this is absolutely not. This is gnarly. Minus 630, boys. 632. Puts my P&L at like negative 1K for January. Well, usually I'm on stream here with you guys until like 11 or so, 11:30. So usually once that's done, I give the dog some attention because usually he's patiently staring a hole through my soul. Play with him, give him some attention, take him out for a walk, come back in, maybe have another cup of coffee. Generally done trading at that point, go to the gym, depending on what time it is. And then from there, it's just depending on the day. If I got shit I gotta get done, stuff to do. But yeah, once we get into the afternoon hours, if I'm not trading PM, it's kind of just whatever I need to get done for the day. You missed what I call hidden wicks at where price reverse. Wicks are very reactive. Dependent wafer 177. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you really trying to flex in the YouTube chat like you know exactly what's gonna happen in price in a range like this? Is that what's going on here? Dependent wafer? Are you trying to flex on my YouTube chat? You seem to be in a very big losing streak, brother. Yeah, we kind of already talked about it. Losing streak last week. This week, 2 losses so far, 1 small partial win, and then a break even. This week though, the first loss. What was that? Tuesday. I traded that on Combine. I was just hoping to see a little bit better movement today with the red folder news. Hope is not a good strategy, but I had a better possible expectation for today than I did for like yesterday and the day prior. That's right. What happened is more than recoverable. We're all good. Yeah, I knew you were gonna give up, bro. You shorted into a higher time frame wick. So are you long? You shorted into a higher time frame wick. I knew you were gonna get fucked, bro. I knew you were gonna get fucked, bro. You know what else though? You shorted into a higher time frame wick. What about the higher time frame 4-hour inversion fair value gap up here? What about the 1-hour bearish fair value gap right here? What about the SMT in these wicks? Scale in. SMT, displacement down, bearish fair value gaps. Respecting, we trade up into the first presentation fair value gap again now. This short is still valid, dog. What are you talking about? My stop was just here. Maybe my stop was too tight. Maybe this trade plays out if my stop is all the way at the high. I don't want to do that because my risk reward gets effed. But this short could still play out. And to your point about, well, you're trading a hard time frame wick. That's like the only thing I don't like about the ICT community. You know, it ain't like I'm sitting out here like, do they not hear when I go over my analysis and I'm explaining why I'm framing a certain direction? It ain't like I'm just picking a direction by flipping a coin. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm assuming dependent wafer got long and he hit TP, so congrats, I guess. Is uglier than Tyler's dog boys. Jax, get in here. They said you're ugly, dude. Your stop was fine, but your timing was off. Just my opinion. Can you even explain? I don't even know if that makes sense. Your stop was off. Your stop was right, but your timing was off. I don't think that's a thing. There's a saying in trading that if you got the direction right, but your timing is wrong, you're wrong. There really is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's like my buddy saying that there's going to be a Bitcoin crash below 20K again. Every time it goes up, I send him a screenshot and I'm like, yo, so what about that Bitcoin crash you said was coming? They're just going, oh, yep, just keep waiting. It's coming. Just keep waiting. Trust me, it's coming. Inversely, I bought a other crypto back in like 21 off of his recommendation. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying this is just the facts of the story. I bought a coin called Kudos. I put $30,000 into a coin called Kudos at like 4 cents. That $30,000 turned into $1,500. And I still to this day give him shit about it, because why would you not? Any guesses what his answer is? Just keep waiting, man. It'll go back up. It's coming, trust me. He won't admit that it was just like incorrect. So instead it's just wait. Just keep waiting, man. Trust me, there's a Bitcoin crash coming. Trust me, Kudos is gonna rip, bro. Kudos isn't even a coin anymore. It got migrated into Fetch AI. But anyway, so that saying rings true deep in my loins. I tell him the same thing whenever he says that. If you get the direction right, but you were off by 4 years, were you really right? Just like trading. If I get the direction right, but I'm off by, in this case, if I'm off by, 15, 16 minutes, Not even actually. What would that be? If I get the direction right, but I'm off by 13 minutes, that is the difference. That is the margin of difference in trading. If you're off by small margins at a time, that could be the total difference between hitting your stop loss and hitting your take profit. That's what makes trading so difficult. But regardless, the reality is this condition here, I don't know if you want to call this seek and destroy necessarily, or high resistance conditions, whatever you want to call it. It's not really seek and destroy right now because we're not like broadening necessarily yet. We'd have to start taking out like the high and the low of the range and like, you know what I'm saying? But like the moment you start seeing these conditions, this is when you start, as an ICT trader at least, you're just like, yo, there's nothing here anymore. This is gross. I gave it my one attempt for what I thought should have taken place, and it didn't play out. So the worst thing I could do right now is be like, oh, maybe we're actually bullish. Let me get long. And then we go back. Oh, maybe my first idea was right. Let me try short again. And that's the mistakes that like a bunch of newer traders make, because those are the mistakes that I made all the time. Instead of sitting with a $600 loss, I'm like, I can't be red for the day. I need to make that fucking back right now. And then I turn a $600 loss into a blown account. Hey, Tyler, question for our daily buys. Do you look relevant, equal high or lows? Yes. That's funny, Kanalski. That's like saying your golf shot was perfect and the hole was in the wrong place. I'm going to say that this summer. I'm actually going to use that. My shot was fine. The hole was just in the wrong spot. That's funny. I think Trump's speech will be broadcast. Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be. Probably a news network or something. He speaks at 11. According to ICT, when we have a small opening gap, the price will fill minimum 50% of the gap. It doesn't work today? Question mark. No, he said 70 to anywhere between 70 and 120 points is literally hit or miss. It's like you have to look at all the other confluences to determine a bias or a direction. So in today's case, the opening range gap, $94 points. So we're smack dab in the middle of that. So I wasn't really referencing opening range gap too much in any sort of like bias today. So all I was really looking at was, you know, when I zoom out to like a slightly higher time frame, like this 15-minute, I just see all this. This is what I was trying to target. So like when you're trying to figure out like bias or draw on liquidity, like that, you know, so whoever asked, like, do you look at, what'd you say, like relative equal lows or whatever, relative equal highs and lows? Yes. Like this is what you want to see. There is not an SMT down here, by the way. There is no SMT here. So like it wasn't like ES already took out the low. You know, ES was the stronger of the two. So this is what I was going for. Was a move down below here, and then possibly something like that. So that was the idea, which could still play out. It's just, you know, go drop down to the 1 minute. It's pretty nasty. Look at the 5 minute. Yuck. So yeah, with all that being said, that's the long answer of saying I defend my trades. I'll be the first to admit if I take a trade that is absolutely stupid. It makes no sense based off of nothing. But that is extremely rare, if ever. What's up, Twister? Trust me, there will be a good short this month. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for something. We've been pretty sideways since the inauguration, which is interesting. Story of your life? Are you talking? Was I talking about the timing at that point? I forget what I said. My bad. Man, probably 8 months now, making good money every single month. But this month I almost lost every single trade. 9 trades in a row. You got any advice for me? Well, I'm not far off. I've lost more trades than I've won in January. Especially on stream. My best winning trade was a couple days ago, and I took it in PM session. I posted it on Twitter and on YouTube, but yeah, my best winning trade, like the last 2 weeks, was in PM session earlier this week. But on stream, New York AM session, so far in 2025, I've lost more trades than I've won. So I'm with you. My advice would just be, don't get impatient. Don't get so frustrated to the point where you make bad decisions, and start breaking your rules. Your rules are not meant for when things are going good. Your rules are meant for exactly the moments like this. Exactly the moments where you're kind of, you're on a little bit of a losing streak. People think that 10 losing trades in a row is not even, people want to act like that's not plausible, or like if you were to lose 10 trades in a row following your edge, like all of a sudden that just means your edge is trash, or you don't know how to trade, or you know what I mean? But that's just not true. If you take a bigger sample size over, let's say, 1,000 trades, we all would agree that a good hit rate for most models, if you're like 50, 60% win rate, 65% win rate, right? Like those are all amazing, great win rates. But that also means, so if you take 1,000 trades and you win, let's say 600 of those trades, well, that means 400 of them are going to be losers. And there's no rhyme or reason as to why or when those win and losing streaks will come. Right? You might win 6 out of 10 trades, but over the span of 1,000 trades, 100 trades, 500 trades, you could have a win. Why would it be impossible for you to have a losing streak of 10 trades in a row? It wouldn't be impossible for you to have a winning streak of 10 trades in a row. So the answer is your rules are in place for those moments, for these moments. Otherwise, anybody can be a good trader and good discipline when things are going great and they're winning all the time. The rules exist for moments like this. So don't over leverage, don't over trade, don't revenge trade. Stick to the plan. Stay the course. That's the only thing to say. And then, like what PEJW just said in the chat, recognize bad conditions and avoid trading. That's what I'm doing at this point. Was recognizing pretty poor conditions as that trade was playing out, and then had my stop at a level where I'm like, if price goes to my stop loss, this is just terrible price. So that's what it did. I'm out of the trade. I'm not trying to get back in, not trying to chase it, not trying to flip and go long. It is what it is. Now I just sit back and read YouTube live chat comments. I don't know. But yeah, 9 trades in a row. Listen, it's going to suck. It's not going to feel good. And it's probably going to result most likely in a blown prop firm account, which can make it feel worse than it is. The reality is, sometimes the trick is, it might be like for your self-confidence at least, it sometimes could be better to view your performance through the lens of a live account. Because think about it like this. On a prop account, use Topstep, you make 3% on your account. Okay, let's say next week comes around, you lose 3% on your account. Well, guess what? Because of the trailing drawdown, you failed. Account blown. The account may have never been in drawdown even for a second. You might have just been in profit the entire time from start to making 3% and then losing 3%, account blown. Now, that could do a toll on somebody's self-confidence, right? They feel like a failure. You know, they feel like they fucked up and they're not a good enough trader because they see everybody else having success and making all these payouts and like they just blew an account and they feel like shit. But in reality, it's like, okay, put that same perspective on a live account. You made 3%, you lost 3%, you're break even, you're right where you started. Are you a failure? No. You risk, let's say you have a personal live account, you risk 1% per trade. You lost 9 trades in a row. You lost 9%, but you still have 91% of your account remaining. Are you a failure? No. You put money in the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, whatever asset you like. It goes down 9%. Are you a failure? No. Do you magically you're the worst trader ever? No. What makes you the worst trader ever in that environment is when you retaliate with stupid decisions. It has nothing to do with you losing a few trades in a row, 9 trades in a row. It has everything to do with your response to that. If your response is like, okay, I'm just going to throw everything out the window now because I'm emotional, that's what makes people bad traders. It has nothing to do with taking losses. Do I recommend trading NQ minis on a 50K account? It's really up to you. It's kind of up. You're over leveraged for sure, technically, but it's up to you. If you come in it with the expectation of like, I'm willing to potentially reset my account a couple of times because you're pushing it hard, that's one strategy. If you're in a situation where you can't afford to blow accounts or reset, and you want to take it slow, then I would not trade minis. I would trade micros and divide your drawdown. That's always been my advice is divide drawdown. I want to keep that on for a little bit longer. Divide the drawdown, give yourself room for a losing streak. And a lot of people, they divide their drawdown by 5, 10 trades, which means you have to lose 5 or 10 in a row or somewhere in the middle to lose your account. And that's just, guys, that's the reality of prop firms. You don't have a lot of wiggle room as it is. Because you don't have a 50K account, you don't have a 100K account. You have either a $2,000 account, a $3,000 account, or a $4,500 account, right? Depending on 50K, 1K, 100K, or 150K. So if you think about it in terms of that, like if you were to risk, say you had a 150K account, $4,500, and you're risking $750. Which is 0.5% of a 150K account, but it's almost 17% of the actual margin. So you really only have a little over 5 trades. Like if you were $750 every single trade, which on one mini contract, it's very easy to have, a 25 to 35 point stop loss on NQ. But yeah, it's just really important to have a, honest perspective on things. You know what I'm saying? No, you're all good, dependent wafer. You gave me something to talk about and pass the time. You won't lie, you had a bullish bias when it came to my stream? Yeah, I also had a bullish bias. I just wanted to see manipulation first. So, like, look at this NQ chart. Look at the ES chart. NQ, ES. NQ, ES. I was wanting to see one of these manipulate below the low. NQ, or yeah, New York AM session here on NQ is, we're just in the middle of London range. No SMT at this low. Maybe. Am I about to scroll to YM and YM's going to have the SMT? Is that what this is going to be? Okay, no. If anything, it's if anything, it's bearish SMT. But no, yeah, I don't trade US 30. I used to like my screen up here where I have double, like, side by side ES and NQ. I used to do 3, so I used to do NQ, ES, YM. And it just kind of started to fuck with me. Because what would happen is, like, let's say I took a loss. I'm like, why did price do that? We didn't even form SMT. Like, we have, like, kind of like what it's doing here, where it's like we got these relative equal lows. I'm like, why did it not go for the relative equal lows? I don't get it. Like, why did it leave those and then reverse? You know, and then I would look, oh, YM, of course, had SMT, right? So then I started looking at everything because I'm like, I don't want to miss it next time that happens. And then what I kind of found was, like, I ended up overanalyzing everything, like literally everything. And it would be a clear setup if I was just looking at ES and NQ. And, like, I would, because I'm looking at YM as well, for just to take it into consideration, all of a sudden I talk myself out of a trade plays out, I'm kicking myself, or vice versa. So it's just it was just too much to focus on. Just like looking at dollar, did the same thing to me. So now that I'm trading NQ, like, only, I don't want to look at too much stuff. I want to look at NQ in correlation with ES, and that's it. Me personally. Sure as shit ain't a winner, tell you that for free. So you're saying if somebody has a losing streak, they're not a winner? They might not be a failure, but they're not a winner? That's interesting. If you guys want to see somebody that never has any losing streaks ever, you guys have found them in the live chat here today. Light Brigade Trades. Never once had a losing streak, ever. Yeah, exactly, Galby. That's the roller coaster of trading. Everything's euphoric and you feel like you're never going to lose a trade again. You've cracked the code finally on a winning streak, and then market will humble you. But that's a trap. That's where most people delete all progress and they fall back into really bad old habits really quickly. Because it's really easy to do. Light Brigade. I'm also kidding, by the way. I'm just trolling. You'll know if I'm actually like annoyed with somebody because I'll put them in the VIP room. Otherwise, usually I'm just being sarcastic. It's been a while. I haven't put anybody in the VIP room in a while. Any volunteers? I am in 1.8% drawdown in January. It feels alive with all the emotions having now. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, I'm down technically 1K in January overall, but it's all good. February could be a, you know, you just never know when the time's gonna come. You don't know when your winning streak's gonna hit, and sometimes your winning streaks are just out of this world awesome. Sometimes they're, you know, a little bit smaller, but I don't want to put myself behind the 8 ball by trying to force things when conditions maybe not be the best. When I can just wait it out and get to better conditions and get right back on track. When was the last time you fell back in progress? Fell back in progress. I'm there now. I'm way too experienced to be doing certain things. What do you do? I still make mistakes. And I'll break rules sometimes. I actually I forget where I heard this. I want to give credit where credit is due. I forget where I heard it, but I agree. Someone I heard once that, you know, your rules in trading, if you follow your rules strictly, like 100%, like if you follow your rules perfectly, let's say 90% of the time, you're doing really good. And that's more realistic. Giving yourself the, even that little bit of a grace for that 10% you make a mistake and you mess up. And what I mean by that is, like, you told yourself you're only going to take 2 trades max. Maybe one day you get, for whatever reason, you take 3 trades. You know? So that's what I mean by, like, sometimes you break your rules by a little bit, which happens. You know, you're not a robot. But I think if you can follow your rules perfectly up to 90% of the time, you're doing pretty good. When it comes to, like, when you say if you're falling back into old things, like kind of going off the rails, totally on tilt, blowing shit up, that is probably the only thing with, you know, social media, the prop firm space. Call it what you will. It's a great, amazing opportunity, obviously, in modern day era of trading, for people to acquire capital and you know, take advantage of the upside with very little skin in the game. But I would be not totally honest if I said that there's a lot of people that the good that it does them only goes so far, right? Because when you're sitting around and you're looking at all these people on social media that aren't showing you both sides, right? They're really only showing you, for the most part, the highlight reel. They're showing you the good. You know, like, you look at these people that post these big P&L numbers from prop firms, but you don't know what they had to go through in order to get to that payout or to get to those big P&L numbers. Like, people don't realize, for someone that maybe, let's say somebody takes $100,000 in payouts, they might have spent $30,000 on accounts in order to do that. It may be not that much. I'm just giving you sometimes it could be more, sometimes it could be a little bit less, but, like, that's not really shown too much, right? It might be talked about after the fact, right? They might get a big payout, and then all of a sudden you hear them say, like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, I spent $25,000 to get to this. But by that point, they already got the big payout, so everybody's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, worth it. Hell yeah, that's worth it. But what did that look like day to day? Like day to day, going through 10 blown accounts, 5, you know what I'm saying? Like 5 blown accounts here, 3 blown accounts here, boom, past one here, payout, boom, 5 more blown accounts here. Like, you see what I'm saying? So day to day, when you're really focused on the micro, like what's going on, it probably doesn't look as glamorous as it does at the end. At the end is where, you know, it looks good and it's easy to say, oh yeah, it was worth it. But day to day, when you're watching that happen, like if you were watching all these people blow 5 accounts at a time, 10 accounts at a time, and you saw this happen often, you know, your opinion might change. You might be like, I don't know about that, actually. Right? So I think a lot of people's perspectives are just skewed because of social media. And it can be hard to decipher the differences sometimes. Like everybody says, oh, I don't pay attention to anything on social media. I block everything out because I'm just God's gift to mental fortitude and nothing bothers me ever. And, you know, everybody wants to talk big and act like they don't. It's just like an athlete. You think an athlete really doesn't see the stuff that people say about him on Twitter? Get the fuck out of here. Do I think average day traders today, people in their 20s and 30s or potentially younger, who grew up in the social media era, are not seeing other traders talk about their successes on social media? Yeah. Okay. You might as well try to convince me that the 2020 election was free and fair. $200 live CFD times 500 leverage or 198 Topstep. I mean, I never would promote a CFD account ever. So I would say Topstep. Let alone like prop firm or not. I mean, obviously, if you're gonna go the prop firm route, Topstep is what I'd recommend, as you guys know. But like, if you're gonna go the live account route, and you trade, and if you trade Nasdaq, if you can, I would trade futures personally. I know a lot of people are in other countries, and I'm not familiar with like necessarily what obstacles people in other countries have with trading futures, if any. But yeah, I have a pretty jaded view on CFD. So maybe take what I say about it with a grain of salt, but I think it's jaded for good reason. Well, that's just the thing, Ken, right? It's like you could blow a combine. You could blow 5, 10 combines. Right? Let's say you blew 10 combines, 50K accounts, 10, that's $490. And then the next account you get $1,000 payout. You're fucking $510 in the green. Well, I guess minus the activation fee. So you're like $400. You know, you're in the green by a few $100. We'll put it that way, right? So it's like you really just have to change. You just have to have a different perspective if you're going to trade props. I just don't know how else to put it. It's just a different game, right? Don't look at it like 150. Don't look at it like 100. Don't look at it like 50. It's not that. It's 2,000, 3,000, 4,500. That's what it is. That's the account you have. Your account size is your margin. Just like on a live account, your account size is your margin. So it's no different. So I only say that it's only important because you just can't beat yourself up over it, right? You're not going to beat yourself up over, you know, you lost 3%. Wow. End of the world. Just terrible at trading now. I lost 3%. Oh no. Oh no, I'll never recover from this. Oh no, I'm the worst. Oh no, I need to trade some other strategy now. I lost 3% trading ICT concepts. They don't work. I lost 3% trading order flow and volume profile. I better maybe I should trade ICT concepts. I saw an ICT trader post a big win today on Twitter. Oh no, world's ending. Oh no, Patrick Weiland posted another 600K payout after spending 300K on prop firms. I better do what he says. I better buy his course. Took a month off in December, and I'm in a losing streak now that I'm back. I was doing great before. Now I'm kind of lost. I know what needs to be done, but this is whack. Yeah, what's funny is this is how I'm performing right now. Right? It's like, feels like, I don't want to say death by 1,000 cuts because there have been some wins sprinkled in. They've just been a little bit more scarce. So it's forcing me to really dial in my patience and my risk management. But this is very oddly similar to how it was for me at the beginning of last year in January. Keep in mind, again, we were at all-time highs last year at the beginning of the year as well. So, you know, kind of repeating history a little bit. And this is exactly what it was like. Wasn't great, wasn't terrible. It was like this, hovering around a state of green and red break even. You know? So for some traders, for some people, they might look at that and say, so why don't you just take it off? And that's an option. You can take it. You can take off January going forward if that's your conclusion by the end of this month. Looking ahead to future years, but it's not necessary. The only reason you should make it a hard rule to take off is if you can't handle the stress and the discipline required to not F your shit up, right? Then take off. Yeah, if you're gonna just blow everything up a million times over because the conditions are not favorable for you, then yeah, maybe you should take off. But I mean, if you have any ability to self-control, you don't need to take off. I still think personally the experience is valuable. Somebody that's been trading for some years now, like I know with every day I sit at these charts, I'm still gaining experience. Like I'm not getting worse as a trader by even if I sit here and I don't take a trade and I just tape read stuff, I'm not getting worse. I'm getting chart time. I'm getting experience. So, like, I don't know. I don't really subscribe to the whole, like, oh, you need to take off these extended periods of time. If anything, it's an opportunity for me to practice more patience. That sounds like an opportunity missed if I didn't take it. Don't you consider the short? I mean, I'm eyeing it up right now. I was watching the 5-minute chart on my other monitor up here. That's why I was I'll show you the 5-minute what I'm looking for. I was waiting for like a 5-minute change in the state of delivery, and then I would consider an entry. If we got like a strong close. If it's like a little tiny little weak close, like right at the open, I'm not really interested, to be honest. But yeah, if we were to get a change in the state of delivery here, I think I'd maybe be interested in this macro. We got Trump speaking here in like 3 minutes though. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, I would say I don't know if Ben is still in here or not. But yeah, pretty choppy up until this Trump speech. We'll see what it does from here. I don't see Trump. President Trump finds letter. No, that's not it. Fox News? They're live right now. Let's see.
People that have been with him.
Watch live. Trump's Agricultural Secretary Pick Brooke Rollins faces senators' questions. So Fox News is live right now, but not at the World Economic Forum. She's like speaking before the Senate. Yeah, maybe it's not live anywhere. I don't know. I don't see it on YouTube. Check your local news stations, boys. Maybe it's on. I don't know. I don't really care to watch it, but just to pull it up and see what happens right when he walks out and starts talking, or when he's done. It's still happening, right? They change it? Nope. Crude oil as well. Coming out in a minute. Yeah. Yeah, pretty tight range today, huh? For the most part. I mean, we had this move up here right at the end here. 50 points. Yeah, it's not a big move. Even with this move, that's only a 50-point move. This is tight. She's tight. Nice and tight. 4-hour inefficiency. 4-hour BPR. And the 4-hour high. Off of 50% of the opening range gap at the moment. So yeah, to answer your question, Mohammed, I'd maybe consider the short, but I got to see a little bit more structure here first. I see what you're seeing, though. Is it a bad idea to trade when Trump speaks? It could be. It just depends on what he says. And it might not matter what he says necessarily. The market could just pick up volume regardless. You see that with Powell, too. Like, it doesn't really matter necessarily if what he is saying is good or bad. It'll just, like, the volume will just pick up a lot. For better or for worse. Yeah, we are inside a 1-minute SIBI. Kind of opting to stay off the 1-minute chart for now. In terms of my entry. Could just be a lot of noise. That's kind of what it's been this morning on the 1-minute so far, at least. You blew the Topstep account, Chad. No. It's all right. You'll get the next one. Tax write-off anyway. Continued education. ICT, I've been trading. I mean, I first started trading, like looking at charts. The first time I looked at charts and was like interested in trading was like 2017. You know, and I started learning on like baby pips and whatnot, and then I didn't really look at trading at all in 2018, to be honest. You know, I was always in the back of my mind that I knew I wanted to get back into it and I was interested in it. But then really 2019, kind of late 2019, I started picking it back up again, taking it like seriously, wanting to learn about it, and get into it. Yeah. And then, you know, my journey goes technically Forex, crypto mixed, and then futures. But I never know how to answer that fully. Like when people say, how many years have you been trading? What would you guys say is the proper? What would you guys say is the proper answer? If the first time I like started learning about trading was in 2017, but like I didn't start taking it serious until late 2019, and then like really start, I feel like, gaining much experience until like early 2020. I don't know. Is that 7 years? Is that 5 years? 4 years? The way that I kind of look at it now is I've been trading ICT concepts for probably 2-point-something years. 2-point-something years. I don't know. Maybe closer to 3. I didn't keep track of the first day I traded ICT concepts, but speaking of Muhammad, RIP to the short, buddy. He's going to come in here and say, "Oh, my stop was way higher." Last time this happened with Muhammad, he was like, "Oh yeah, my stop was actually way up yonder." I'm good. But yeah, no. So I've been trading ICT concepts. I just say like 3 years ICT concepts, and I feel like the way that I view the market now, with the experience of these concepts and strategies, it's like I kind of look at it like maybe I should only consider myself trading for 3 years, because that's the length of time I've been using these concepts and strategies, right? So that's also kind of a way to look at it. Like if you did a lot of strategy hopping for 2 years and you've been trading ICT concepts for 1 year and you're struggling and frustrated thinking, "Man, I've been trading ICT concepts for a year. I hear all these other traders say that they, were profitable after 2 or 3 years, and you're sitting there at 3 years, but you've only been trading your strategy for not even 1 year." You see what I'm getting at with that? I don't know how to put that in the words properly, but your experience with that specific style is limited in overall scope of your total trading career. Does that make sense? I feel you, Anthony. But Anthony, hey, before you get down on yourself, remember, Anthony.
No.
Oh no, I can't do this anymore because liberals will say I'm a Nazi. Do you know who the currency merchant is? No, I don't, Zane. I'm glad that brightened your day, Anthony. I'm glad that brightened your day. But you know what? I guess the YouTube and social media trolls can say all they want. I think the most important part about being a part of any sort of trading community, or I don't know if you view a YouTube live chat as a community or not. I think you could. I think it's just as important for traders to, when they're going through tough times, losing streak or whatever, to be able to kind of look around and say, "Wow, I'm actually not alone. There are other people that are also struggling in these conditions." And that can kind of help. As weird as that is to say, right? I remember when I first started trading, being a part of a community. If I was on like a live trading session with other people and we all were taking similar trades together, something about losing with other people made the loss not hurt as much. That makes sense. So I think that's a real thing. You'd highly recommend his channel? All right. I won't look at it, but that might be useful for someone else. I just set him up for an easy burn. He's gonna be like, bro, I've been watching you live stream this week. You could use it. You should check them out. You could use it. I've been watching you trade for the last 2 weeks. Yeah, I tried. Forex is where I started the trading experience. Forex is where I started. Forex and crypto. Here's the only thing I'm not liking now. Is how this 15-minute. Look at this 15. Yes, this could be a 5-minute bearish change in the state of delivery. But I think this could be a problem. And could send price higher. Keep in mind, we're bullish. You can't forget we're bullish overall. You know what I'm saying? The trend is your friend, right? Right? Until the end. We're all in this gambling addiction together. Now that right there is real love. Trump is live? Wolf, where is he live at? I couldn't find it. YouTube? Maybe it's on X. Maybe it might be live on X. X is such a better news source anyway, ain't it? I don't see him anywhere. Let's find out. I see our old buddy Romeo 19 hours ago. I've been approached by many institutions and hedge funds for both trade ideas and education on how I know what I know. Recently, I got offered $10 million from someone to learn everything I know about trading, and I refused. Oh my God. Okay, guys. Yo. I need to know in the chat what you guys think on this. Bro, come on. Tell me this isn't some fucking grade A bullshit on multiple different fronts, but let's be real. Come on. Can we be real for a second? And this is what I'm talking about, the social media shit. It's like people, like, there's people literally out here that read this and go, oh my God. Speaking of, we just dumped on the 1 minute. People literally read this and they're just like, they literally internalize this against themselves. And then they're comparing themselves to this idea, which is complete BS. That's the problem, bro. Why did I blow my prop firm account, but Raid got offered $10 million? Maybe I should buy his course. Maybe I should buy his mentorship. Yeah, I'm not really interested in shorts until we inverse this 15-minute. Someone said look at the chart, but I figured I'd share that point. I thought it was obvious when I pointed it out what I was waiting for. Listen, I'll look at the chart when I'm good and ready to look at the fucking chart. You understand me? You understand me, boy? I'm tired of this, Grandpa. It's too damn bad. You keep digging. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Where is it? Here we go. Hang on.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
There we go, boys. We're starting to work higher here. We might be in business for some longs. Technically, you could say we already are. You know what? Screw it. Combine account. Let me rip along here. Hang on, let me change it. I'm gonna get in long, boys.
Order filled.
I'm in. The reason I got in, we're trading up from a 15-minute bullish for value gap. We just inverted this. This could become a breakaway. Let's see if this rips. I entered this on Combine only, boys. For full transparency. The only problem with longing NQ is ES is the stronger. I mean, look at ES here. This is... Sheesh! I'm going to put an alerts on ES. Because that would likely signal the end of the trade here. We're not, I mean, yeah, NQ is not going to beat ES to this high. It just ain't going to happen. So, yeah. Nice little trade here. See if this combine's got any luck. I don't want to put my stop. Do I? Ah, fuck it. It's a combine. Don't do as I do. That's a bad habit if you can't handle it. I can. Luckily for me, I can handle it. Don't ever do something silly and say, "Yeah, it's combine." This is pure. This is pure entertainment at this point, folks. No. You know what? Combine or not, I'm still going to put the stop here. Yeah. This again would be still pretty nasty to see it reverse. Yeah, not looking great though. It's re-hitting the 15-minute fair value gap right now. Well, let's see if I can get lucky, boys. I took an entertainment trade for you. We'll turn the hat around. Just put in a swing low on the 1 minute. If Trump doesn't mention the crypto again today, it might nuke. Yeah.
Order filled.
Dude, you didn't even hit my stop loss. Oh, there it is. Well, that didn't work. We'll see. We'll see if it would have worked with the stop down here. It felt naughty to have that big of a stop loss, given my entry. But yeah, tried sniping that on a combine. Try to get away with one there. Paid the price for it. Oh, Muhammad, you are still here. Speaking of, yeah. Okay. What a wicked 5-minute here. Someone asked me earlier if I'd blown any accounts in January. I've taken a few trades on this combine now. This combine I had just chilling here on Topstep X. And it's not blown. But I haven't won on it. It was a brand new combine. It was just sitting. It was one of the Topstep X deals. It just I never canceled it because it was the price. Your grandfathered into that lower price. But the balance of that account sits at 147,400. So what do I got left on that? 1,900 margin left on it. I've taken 3 losses on that account. So that was the account you saw me just use. Look at this shit. Here's that 15-minute gap. Maybe I should have been a degen and increased my stop loss. I'm sorry to hear that, Rita. I know it's been a struggle this month for me as well. I don't know if that makes you feel better. I know I can't bring your funded account back to life, but maybe you can find some refuge in knowing that you're not alone. ES has been cleaner. Really? 15. I took that entry on the 1 minute. Yeah, so this entry, I mean, I guess I could see why you're saying that. Like, even for this position that I took, obviously we tap a higher time frame fair value gap and inefficiency down in here. Obviously, my trade long that I just took on NQ was based off of this inversion. Holy shit. So that trade, if I took it on ES instead of NQ, would still be open because my stop was below these bodies. So I wouldn't have been stopped out if I took it on ES yet. I don't know, dude. Every time I take a trade on ES, I feel like I just get effed. But lately I've been getting effed on NQ, so what does it matter? I'm going to be a little sad if this plays out. Just because it's unfortunate. Like, come on. You know, like it's like the trades I give adequate extra room are the trades where it hits, like you're maybe like 3 ticks in drawdown. You know what I mean? Like it just barely taps the PD array you're using and then flies. You're just like, oh, nice. Yeah, I could have actually had a stop loss that was a quarter of the size, apparently. And then it's like the times you like, you know what? I don't want to see like the PD arrays I'm using here. I don't want to see them fail. So it's like, I'm just going to put my stop here because if it comes here, it's probably invalid anyway. And it's like, those are the times it's like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you just want to put your stop down a little bit lower. Yeah, you've been fine. Ain't it funny how that works like that? The only problem with like, because I'm sitting here and I'm staring at this, it's like, is it worth me to, if it pulls back to that entry price, hop in, try to join the long? But I don't know, dude. Got this SMT now. The fact that I'm thinking about it and asking you guys out loud probably says all I need to say. But yeah, I'm going to be a little sad if this just rips higher now. Like I told you guys, sometimes the smallest difference makes all the difference. What, I get literally bottom ticked basically on my stop here? Sick. Well, I guess I don't need this trading view alert anymore, do I? Oh, I have it on the other one. Make NQ great again, please. Peace out, Rita. Appreciate it. Trump presidency ruined this week. Yeah. Well, you guys were all, if you guys were all here last week, you guys heard me say this week was going to be overall odd. Inauguration Monday, WEF meetings all day with, or all week with no news until today. And then tomorrow we have Red Folder as well. So I'm not like, you know, I can be annoyed with the market or whatever just because it's fun to do. But at the end of the day, it's not like my expectation is... It's not like my expectation was totally wrong. I just think this is disappointing. This trade here. I thought it was a good trade. 15-minute fair value gap. Am I showing you guys the right one? Yeah. You know, 15-minute fair value gap. Scaled into a 1 minute, got an inversion. BPR here. I guess my stop was just too tight. I thought I had, I don't know. I thought I had enough room. Look at all the PD rays that had to fail for my stop loss to get hit. Inversion. BISI, so BPR. And then also this up close candle before this down close candle or order block. So really all of this had to fail for my stop to be reached. But there's always another There's always another perspective, right? Like if I go to the 5 minute, you know, people say, "Oh no, bro, your stop should have been below the rejection block." Yeah, whatever. Whatever, dude. Look at that stop out, dude. Have you guys ever had that happen to you before? You get stopped out by such a small amount? Or am I alone? Is that just me? Also got tagged out by 2 ticks, and now price is spooling away. Pathetic. Fucking pathetic, PA. I'm just ready to get to my next big winning day on stream where we just get a fat, nice, beautiful winning trade straight to TP. I'm due for one. I'm definitely due for one. At this point. It'll come. It'll come. All the time, brother. Yeah, fuck. That's the reality of trading, I guess. Mama said there'd be days like this. Look at oil. No, I'm good. Debbie. All right, fine. I'll look at oil. You talk me into it. I'm not going to analyze it, though. I'm going to take a quick peek just because I have it on my watch list. Holy. Why did it do that? Somebody posted in the chat, drill, baby, drill. Did Trump say something about drilling, baby, drilling? That's dope. Do you guys remember in his first term, oil prices? Oil and gas? Here's look at this. This is January of 2020. Obviously COVID hit, right? But dude, at one point oil was like a negative price. You guys remember that? That was wild. Granted, everything crashed, but oil prices being down are a good thing, technically, for most of us here, especially in the United States. Cost of energy and power goes down. Helps with a lot of things, especially regarding inflation, cost of everyday goods. All good things. Sorry for cursing. What do you mean, Nika? I curse all the time. Did Streamlabs... You should be able to... I think you can type curse words in the chat. I'm not advocating for it, but I think it's possible. Trump is talking about energy. Yo, where did... somebody said where to... Somebody said where to find the Trump thing? The speech? Can you repeat yourself? I missed it, I think. Let's see if YouTube pops it up here quick. Oh, here we go. Now it's front and center.
USA, so that's going to create a tremendous buzz. We're also probably going back to the one-year deduction where we deduct, we did that originally, and that was amazing what the impact that had, the one-year deduction, which built up over a period of time, and then it expires But we're going to go back to that when we do the renewal of the Trump tax plan. We have to get Democrats to approve it. But, if the Democrats didn't approve it, I don't know how they can survive with about a 45% tax increase, because that's what it would be. And so I think they're going to do. We've been working along with them pretty well. I think it's very hard for a political group to say, let's charge people 45% more. So I think we're in good shape. But we're actually doing a reduction for business and small businesses where you're going to bring it down to 15%, which is really something. And by the way, speaking of you, and you've done a fantastic job, but I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank, and that included a place called Bank of America. They don't take conservative business, and I don't know if the regulators mandated that because of Biden or what, but you and Jamie and everybody, I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives, because what you're doing is wrong.
Mr. President, I'll say that your friend Gianni said hello.
Yo, Trump just cooked him. Trump just cooked him, boys. That's your president. That's my president. Come on. Oh man. I feel like Trump's already done like more news conferences in his first 3 days than Biden did in 4 years. That true? My girl cheated on me with a Forex trader. So now I'm taking futures super serious. BW, I like your style. I think that's a great strategy. And the fact that you're doing futures and he's doing Forex, you got the step up. You got the leg up on him. Because you know what? When you make your profits, listen, if you're in the US as well, technically trading CFDs is illegal. And you get the tax advantages when you make money with futures. Not with prop payouts, unfortunately, because it's not looked at as capital gains until you're into an actual live environment. But nonetheless, BW, I'm rooting for you. Cheers. You don't need her anyway. She probably voted for Kamala. It's all good. It's all good. All right, what's he saying here?
You've done a fantastic job. Congratulations. We are going to move very quickly. We've moved very quickly. We've done things in the last 3 days that nobody thought were possible to do in years. And it's all taking effect. It's going to have a huge impact on the economy, a huge positive impact. Money was being wasted on crazy things. I mean, the Green New Deal was such a total disgrace. How that was perpetrated, and it was conceived of by people that were average students, less than average students, I might add, and never even took a course in energy or the environment. It was just a game. Remember, the world was going to end in 12 years. Remember that? Well, the 12 years has come and gone. It was going to end. It was going to all foam into earth. But the time has come. These people, and they really scared the Democrats large. I can't say the Republicans. The Republicans maybe could have fought harder to stop it, but it's been a tremendous waste of money. During my 4 years, we had the cleanest air, we had the cleanest water, and yet we had the most productive economy in the history of our country. We had the most productive economy. Until COVID came, we had the most productive in the history of our country by far. And actually, you could look worldwide. We were beating everybody from China to everybody else. So, and we think we really now, with what we have learned and all of the other things that have taken place, we think we can even far surpass that. Actually, far surpass it. But one thing we're going to be demanding is we're going to be demanding respect from other nations. Canada, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. We're not going to have that anymore. We can't do it. I don't know if it's good for them. As you probably know, I say you can always become a state And if you're a state, we won't have a deficit. We won't have to tariff you, et cetera, et cetera. But Canada has been very tough to deal with over the years, and it's not fair that we should have a $200 billion or $250 billion deficit. We don't need them to make our cars, and they make a lot of them. We don't need their lumber because we have our own forests, et cetera, et cetera. We don't need their oil and gas. We have more than anybody. So, just as an example, with Mexico, we're dealing with Mexico, I think, very well. And we're just, we just want to be treated fairly with other nations because there's hardly a nation in the world, and I blame this on us, and I blame it on politicians that, for some reason, mostly it's stupidity, but you could also say other reasons, but mostly stupidity. They've allowed other nations to take advantage of the U.S., and we can't allow that to happen anymore. We have debt. It's a very small debt when you compare it to the value of the assets that.
Yeah, I don't know how long this goes, to be honest. But for anybody interested, I guess he did say I didn't hear it, but apparently he said world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto, the United States will be. Some minutes ago, apparently. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know how long this is gonna go. I mean, obviously, my idea here was that price was looking like we could respect bullish price and continue higher. Like, here's a 5-minute. This is where the long was framed from. You can see still bullish order flow present for the moment. Still not like the cleanest. Like, trading back down into here a lot. This high is close. 135.75 on ES. I'm a little bummed at. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a little bummed out about what happened to me here. Obviously got pretty close to bottom ticked on my stop loss. Oh, nice. Fantastic. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. But target, I think, is still the highs, at least on ES. Once ES reaches the high, we'll have an SMT present. So we'll see what price does from there. It might just be a 6-sister, and we could just be playing catch up on NQ. But yeah, a little bummed out. It is what it is. If it happened to you as well, you're not alone. But that's really all I can say. A little bit bigger of a stop would have been fine, but easy to say that in hindsight always. But anyway, I'm probably gonna hop off for now. I'm gonna probably listen to the rest of that if I'm being honest, to see if he says anything entertaining. But yeah, man, I got really much else to say beyond that. If you are continuing to trade today, I mean, I might take a peek at PM session. I actually probably, you know what, I might skip the gym today. What time is it? 11? No, I'm not skipping the gym. I take that back. I lied. I can't do that. That's naughty. But when I get back from the gym, I might take a look at PM session. But I'm trying to frame and give you guys what I'm going to be looking for going into PM session at least. And I just don't know. It just depends on what happens when I get back. But I'll tell you what. If price does not continue to the highs, this is wild, dude. On second thought, seeing that candle, maybe I'm happy I'm not in this trade, because that would be torturous. But I'll say this: if price, by the time I'm back, trades down below, like these lows here, that'd be great. I feel like I'd be even more convicted in longs. But I'll say, man, like if ES trades through its high, You have to be patient and pick your trade wisely. Wait for some other confluences and confirmations, but I'll say for me, the bias I'll want to lean toward will be bearish. I'll be open to bearish scenarios. You know, like if ES runs this, we have an SMT. Something like this, right? Might even be more dramatic than that. And then this is, in all likelihood, a higher time frame imbalance. We're trading back into the 4-hour inversion on NQ. Obviously, we have been. But this 4-hour candle closes in 2 hours, so I would say if 2 hours go by and this creates an inversion, I don't see why you'd be anything but bullish until recent, external highs. But anywho, I'm just giving you what I might be anticipating later on. So, but I'm gonna hop off for now. I appreciate you guys showing up as always, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, got some value in some way, shape, or form, or at least were entertained. But like the stream on your way out, I do appreciate it. Much love to you, boys and girls, and I do plan on streaming tomorrow. Let me pull the calendar up. We have, oh, dude, what's going on again tomorrow? I thought it was done after today. Guess not. But we have PMI tomorrow. Some medium impact at 10 a.m. So we'll see what that brings. But yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow morning as well. And then regardless of what happens, it'll be good to get through this week. FOMC next week. But I would say it wouldn't be the worst idea to have tempered expectations through the rest of this month at this point. All right. So appreciate you guys. I'll see you kids tomorrow.
Our trade sits at his desk, coffee in hand. The NASDAQ charts on his screen, he's in command. He's a day trader, chasing dollars and dreams. Using ICT concepts, he's got some tricks up his sleeves. From Fibonacci retracements to volume spread analysis, Tyler knows the smart money, he's gaining an advantage. He watches the market like a hawk in the sky. With every tick and every turn, he's catching the high. Running with the smart money, kicking up dust. Tyler trades a day trader you can trust. He's dancing with the bulls, riding with the bears, making moves, taking risks, he's a millionaire. With the bulls, riding with the bears, making moves, taking risks, he's a millionaire.